Now, what is wealth and the source of wealth? And then what is money and then the source of money? We already gave the definition of what money is and what wealth is. So the most difficult question for any human being to answer, and maybe it's not just from you, you go and ask your professors in university who teach you economics and mathematics and business administration and finances, anything they teach you, tell them to tell you what is wealth and what is the source of wealth. Few individuals, maybe 1%, less than 1% of the world knows what I'm telling you here today. So, we mentioned those points, that those are the major sources of wealth. The most important source of wealth is, all of you now together, time. Time is the material from which everything comes from. Everything comes from it. All sorts of wealth and money and resources come from it. Even money comes from time. Second source of wealth. Space. Territory. Where? Okay. Third source of wealth. Work. One of the greatest blessings that God has given humanity. And one of the greatest blessings that you could give yourself. Fourth source of wealth. Law and order. Sorry? Law and order. Why law and order? Law and order is that when God created light and said, let there be light, and created light, he created law and order in the midst, and he separated it. He divided between the light and darkness. And he put order. This will be day. And this will be night. Order. If God had not put order, nothing will work. Then he put order between space and earth. Order. Yeah, on the basis of everything is order. And let me tell you this clear and loud. One of the major reasons for underdevelopment in all developing countries, and Africa in particular, is that just one factor. Even in Nigeria, even in a country like India, where the economy and the GDP is so big, because of the big population, but because of lack of order, poverty is still one of the poorest countries still in the world. Why? Because if there is no law and order on a high level, if the Bible says that the poor is having plenty of bread in his field, but they perish because of lack of order or lack of structure. So the poor man has plenty of bread in his field. I think that is Proverbs 23:13. They have plenty of bread in his field, but they perish. So, first of all, the question that I have is this: how can he be a poor man if he has plenty of bread? Because it says the poor has plenty of bread. So how can he be poor and have plenty of bread? Because he doesn't have a system. And those things perish, he becomes poor. It's not because God didn't bless him or God didn't give to him. So what that is telling us is that no matter how much God gives you, no matter how you are blessed as a nation, if you do not understand the wealth of law and order, even the wealth that you have been given will perish and you will remain poor. Then let's take the other scenario. What about if you have not been given wealth and you don't have wealth? You don't have any source of wealth, but you only have law and order. If you have just law and order, people who have wealth, wherever they have it, they will be bringing it to where law and order is. Believe me. They will be bringing it, they will carry and come to where there is law and order. Let's take a country that is called Singapore as an example. Singapore was this little province in Malaysia. It was part of Malaysia before, you know. It was the poorest part of Malaysia. In fact, the Malaysian government were having so much problem with that province. It's just like the Boko Haram province now. Nigeria didn't know what to do with it. They just said, we expel you. That was the only time in history where the government, federal government, said we expel the state from the country. Can you believe it? It's just like they just expel you. Normally, it's the states themselves who are clamoring for independence and liberation of freedom. That's the way it happens normally. The people themselves want to go and you don't want them to go. Yeah. But here, the people said, no, we are not going, we are going to repent, we are going to apologize. Let us stay. They said, no, you are so much a nuisance. We don't need, we don't even want to be off in our republic. Can you believe that kind of thing happened? It's the only time in history. It's just like it's like the colonial master. He said, I expel you. And you are fighting for independence before. So instead of you fighting for independence, they said they themselves gave you a free independence. So Singapore was expelled. They were voted out of the republic. And when they were voted out, they were begging to come back and they should forgive them. But they had a good leader that said, okay, what should we do? So it is that desperation that we didn't have anything. We were feeding off the republic before. Now that we are kicked out, how will we survive? They didn't have all resources, but they put law and order in place. The man, God gave him wisdom to put law and order in place. No raw materials, but law and order. And of course, other raw materials that God gave all men. Time, space, work. So they utilized all those things very well. I don't know, maybe consciously or unconsciously, but they were able to galvanize all that. Because if you have law and order, you are not just using law and order in terms of civil laws, but in every area, even in human management. And that brought wealth from everywhere. And now the standard of living of Singapore is higher than America. Higher than Russia, higher than all of places with raw materials. Law and order. And if you see any poor country in the world today, you will see lack of law and order. Like for example in Nigeria, they have so much raw materials. In fact, cassava alone. You know the budget of Nigeria is only 6 trillion naira. But cassava alone, just if you organize cassava, the one that is being produced right now, is worth 20 trillion. Only cassava, no oil, no gold, no other raw material, just cassava. Under the cassava, the one we eat in the shop. Gabby? Yeah, only cassava alone is worth 20 trillion. So that's like how many times? 4 times our national budget. Cassava alone, and that cassava is in that country. But nobody is harvesting, nobody is packaging, nobody is storing, nobody is exporting. People just doing cassava so that they eat, that's all. Not touching all other raw materials. If somebody will put order in that, amazing. Or so I cannot be. Anyway, law and order. Because if we see how many things I see out, so law and order. Then the next one that follows law and order. So law and order is one of you now. Did you get where law and order is coming from now? Yes. Then after the fall of man, God chased Adam and Eve from Garden of Eden, and they didn't have law and order. This one was law running, skater and everything. Some people were killing each other until God had to introduce 10 commandments. For what attempt? What was the attempt of the fall? To introduce some form of law and order. You understand? Because that is what brings sanity and growth and wealth as well. So law and order itself is wealth. Okay. Then that's number 4, right? I gave you. Then that is the number 4 source of wealth. Number 5 source of wealth. Number 5 source of wealth is you, human being. But it's not called you or human being. It's called human capital. Human capital. That is you. So human capital is, expands. You are a source of wealth by yourself. One of the strongest. And if you are going to put it in order of importance, that human capital, that you, where is it supposed to be? Number 3. Who said number 3? Good. Number 3. It's supposed to be number 3. Because you are the one to work. And you are the one to put order. You understand? But space and time, that has to come from God. So we already know where the source of wealth is. These are the basic, fundamental source of wealth. Everything you have on earth. All right. Now, unfortunately, some people think that the only source of wealth that they have, like for example, in my country, Nigeria, people always talk about the source of wealth as raw materials only. They are not even talking about space. Nobody is even going to explore space or cosmic something. Nobody is even trying. They don't even see it as wealth at all. They are only talking about raw material, the one they can see in the oil, in the ground, oil and things like that. And they are not even talking about time, because they could come late and everything. I have an article where I wrote that Nigeria can double our GDP just by managing time and manipulating time. I have a whole article about that. Just through time, we could double our GDP every year. And I made the calculations there. Because it's a source of wealth. But we don't treat it as a source of wealth. In our country, in our continent, we don't even treat time as a source of wealth. But it's the greatest source of wealth. It's much more powerful than the raw materials they are talking about. It's number 1. Then number 3, in importance, which is human capital. We don't also treat that. We just treat our own population as if it's a nuisance. We are not treated as a source of wealth as well. So a lot of work to do. Sunday Adelaja here. If you believe in nation building principles, please like this video, share it with your friends, and let's change our nations together.